What is going on there, Flyers fans? Welcome in to Clear the Ice. I'm Big Al along with Matty B here. Flyers needed a little puck luck, Matty B, but just couldn't get it. 2-1, they fall to the Rangers at the Wells Fargo Center. But man, what an old school type of game we had tonight, didn't we? Or this
Yeah,
afternoon, I should say.
yes, it brought back memories of the old Patrick division there, Al. It really did. It was great to see. I mean, when you look at Philadelphia sports rivalries, the Eagles, Cowboys, Phillies, Mets. I mean, Flyers, Rangers are a Philly sports rivalry, and it's good to see the Flyers that are actually moving into relevancy now that they can renew that. And it's great hockey right off the bat. That big old heavyweight battle, DeLorean and was it Remke? That
Yeah.
was an old school 1985 fight, man. I thought I was like 13 again.
Yeah, Matt Rempe, I guess. Rempe had a heck of a game for him. First NHL goal, and kind of him and Delore. If you saw, they started jawing at each other, even excuse me, pregame, and didn't take long. 3 minutes into the game, Matty B, and the fisticuffs were a flying, and you could feel it getting hot under the collar. One thing as I could say is looking when they scan the ice, if you're watching from home, more Rangers fans I like to see inside the Wells Fargo
Yeah, it's
Center.
no problem.
But I have to admit, it was kind of like a back and forth of what Flyers versus Rangers fans were in house at the moment. But for those who are just joining us, Flyers did fall to the Rangers 2-1 this afternoon at the Wells Fargo Center. But like you said, the one point is the first period was definitely a back and forth battle. But unfortunately, the second period, in my eyes, kind of fell a little bit more onto the Flyers, kind of playing off the back of their heels in this case and playing way too much defense than need to be. What are your feelings on this, Matty B?
Yeah, you mentioned the first period was kind of a feel yourself out type period. Second period, the Rangers somewhat demonstrated their will against the Flyers. It's the way this team is built. The Flyers, it's frustrating to watch this team at times because they are like you look at them, and I'm going to give Pat a little credit here. It's frustrating this season more so for me than it was last year because there's so many like more positive things to talk about this team. It offensively just don't have the horses, man. They just don't have the goal scorers, and they get in those types of periods where they get back up on their heels. I don't know what happens. I don't know if they get away from their game or they try something different. But second period, the Rangers kind of like enforced their will a little bit more. Rangers are a way more superior team than the Flyers, and they definitely played like that in the second period. But as I said, Al, it's more frustrating this season for me than it's been last season because they're so much better this year.
Yeah, and Lobby on the other side there knows this team well.
Yeah.
Knows the Flyers organization well, I should say. And had a good mixture of speed, skill, and enforcers, and especially with Rempe, big boy for what he is. Saw him almost take Frost's head clear off in that check.
Yeah.
And they're playing a physical game, but it was an all-around physical game. I don't think one team was more physical than the other. If you look at the numbers, maybe because the hits go a little bit more towards the Rangers from the 27 and 18 spot. But Flyers continue to block a bunch of shots and amaze even the announcers for how many shots they block in a single game. 20-16 in Flyers' favor tonight. I think opportunity was there, but they didn't take full advantage of this opportunity, Matty B. A lot of times, especially towards the end of this game, third period, the puck was in front of them. Guys fanning on the puck, wide of the net. Terms we hear a lot, but terms we did not want to hear today with the Flyers. And our boy Mike Laro checking in there. Close one today, feeling more positive about this team. Let's talk about that, Matty B. Are you feeling more positive even in today's loss to the New York Rangers?
I mean, I felt the same way pretty much about this team since around Thanksgiving. Nothing's really changed about that. I thought that they were a better story. They were going to be a better story even back then. But now it's time. Now we're at this point, and they said it in the commentary. When you have a power play that's so inept like the Flyers is, there's no way you're going to make a deep Stanley Cup run. There's just no way you're going to be able to do it because you don't have that type of offense. You need to score power play goals. With 0 for 4 again today. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating to watch them operate because they have great movement on the puck. They fill lanes, they cycle, they pass well. They just can't finish. And I was positive on them back in late November. I really haven't wavered off that. It's just now I want to kind of like fast forward to like next year and like see if we can add some more pieces and get some of the offense rolling again. But yeah, I mean, it's been a positive season all year for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree with you. I mean, I don't want to go too fast to next year. I would like to see how this team handles itself in the playoffs. Do they just get rattled by the big spotlight and go home quickly? Do they rise to the occasion a little bit and give whoever they're playing a run for their money? I think that will go a long way with the improvement they have this year. If that becomes exponential to the following year, the Flyers could become even closer to a cup contender.
Yeah.
So getting that experience, I think, goes a long way. So one thing I can be positive about is I'm positive if you go to sherrystickets.com, you'll save 10% off by using that promo code EOP10. That's right. sherrystickets.com, family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theaters, I don't care where you're at. You can get tickets at sherrystickets.com and save 10% off by using that promo code EOP10. Use it often, use it frequent. Go to sherrystickets.com and use EOP10 to save 10% off all your favorite sports, concert, theater events. Check them out, sherrystickets.com. So let's break it. Let's go down here. Not a lot of goals to break down because it was a 2-1 game, but still a few to get into. Like we said, the first period, no real action from there, except for shots on goal. Flyers again, 18-9 that the Rangers did. So it looked like good start for Philly, but not so much going into the second period with the shots on goal definitely favoring the Rangers 10-5, and the Rangers putting the first goal on the board of the game with Lafreniere. I'm going to say Lafreniere, however you say it. Alexis Lafreniere.
That's good. You got it, man. We're there.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them. Damn Canadian names make it difficult to say. But 4-on-4 hockey, Matty B, and shoots it right through traffic into the 5-hole of Erson and puts the Rangers on the board for the first and only goal of the second period, first goal of the game, giving the Rangers a 1-0 lead going into the end of the second. Why don't you give us your thoughts on that goal as well?
So you mentioned traffic. I want to say moderate traffic. It wasn't I-76 at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. It was not that. It was more like I-95 north about 6 a.m. on a Monday. It was moderate. It wasn't heavy. Urson's got to have that puck. That's a goal that's a shot he needs to make a save on. It was, in my opinion, a pretty clean look. He had some people in front of him, but it handcuffed him. He misplayed it more so than I think, and maybe because he couldn't see it. I don't know, but he's got to make that save, in my opinion. That's a save an NHL starting goaltender needs to make.
I agree. A little bit if you watch a slower breakdown of the play, Lavi's good about putting big men in front of that goalie and making their day a living hell and blinding them. So I agree with you. He probably should have stopped that, but his view was definitely skewed at best in that situation. And that, like I said, would be the only scoring of the second period, giving that 1-0 lead to the Rangers. Second period, not too long into it, Tyson Forster will be credited with the goal, and Scott Lawton will be credited with the assist. But this is all Scott Lawton, Matty B. Why don't you break it down for us?
Man, assist of the year to Scott Lawton, who may not be long for this world here, but I got to give him the credit. This was a beautiful. It was good work in the zone by the Flyers, and to kind of keep the play going. But Lawton fighting behind the net, goes around the net, and as he's falling, literally sweeps the puck around and feeds Tyson Forster out front. It was the assist of the year. It was absolutely gorgeous. You almost would hopefully that puck somehow found its way in off a skate and Lawton got credit for it, but definitely up there on my one of the prettiest assists I've ever seen.
Yeah, like I said, it was all Scott Lawton in that one. Tyson Forster just got a kind of a gift and was able to put the goal in on that one. A couple times there was opportunities, not as crazy, because if that puck was about a half a second faster or a half an inch in front of him further, that would have never happened.
Right.
Scott Lawton, I think, dislocated his shoulder just to get that extra half an inch out, but he was able to do it. But that was a lot of today was, especially in that second and third period. Those moments were there. Thank God Tyson Forrester was able to capitalize on that one, because there was a lot of, like I said, clanging, and whiffing from the Flyers when there was plenty of good opportunities there for them to tie this game, if not take the lead at times.
Yeah.
So that would bring us to the end of. That would bring us to our next goal, which didn't happen too much longer. About 4 minutes later into the game, the guy we talked about earlier, Matt Rempe, who he's that prototypical enforcer, Matty B, big body out there just causing havoc. Like I said, he had the fight with Nicholas Deslauriers. He almost took Morgan Frost's head square off with a check, and it was a clean check. I'm not taking anything away with it. Very old school type player. A better version of Ratko. What's his last name?
Gudis.
How do you say Gudis? Gudis.
Gudis.
Kind of an old school enforcer. Gets his first goal of his career. First point, first everything. At first, it did not. They credited it to Goodrow.
Yeah.
And because I remember I was watching it, and I look over at the website just to see get the time and all that stuff, and get some of the details. And it said Goodrow, and then they finally updated it, gave it to Rempe.
Took him a hot minute to figure that out too.
It took about a half a period, my friend. It took a while, but it was him typically screening the goalie, just like I said, taking Urson's vision completely out of it. The puck came from was it Goodrow? It deflected off Goodrow,
right,
from Schneider off Goodrow onto the left leg of Rempe, and it just slid right through the 5-hole. That 5-hole was a little dangerous tonight for Urson. So, I don't know how much more you could break that one down, but Matty B doesn't have to be great to be good.
I have one problem with that goal. How do you lose sight of a 6'8", 240-pound man on the ice? The guy was literally standing in front of Urson with nobody around him. Joel Farabee was about maybe 3 or 4 steps away, and I know what's Joel Farabee going to do? But how do you lose sight of a man who's 6'8.5" on skates and weighs 240 pounds? How do you lose track of that? I don't know how the Flyers allow him to get that much of. If you watch the replay, he's literally standing there in front of Urson and nobody's around him. It's just them two standing there. And that boggles my mind how you lose him out there. It really bothers me.
I don't know if they respected him that much, because, like I said, it wasn't pretty. That probably doesn't go in 90%, 99% of the time, but this is the one time it did, and gave the Rangers that lead back 4 minutes later, 2-1, and that would be the end of the scoring and the end of the game for the most part. Flyers fought valiantly. Again, a lot of missed opportunities that they could have definitely tied this game up at the very least to take this into extra ice time, but they did not do so. And that's the end of that game today. And again, I kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, I'm still very high on this team. I know it can't go by every win, loss. I'm high on the win, low on the losses, but I think any other year, last year, this team, it's a 5-0 game.
Oh yeah,
this is a quiet Wells Fargo Center. Even though there was more blue on the stand, more blue sweaters than I would have liked to seen.
I saw Jamie there.
Jamie, he got a good 30 seconds of airtime.
Yeah.
They were talking about fighting, and they said, maybe this guy looks like he can go a few rounds. And knowing Jamie, he probably could. But Matty B, reminder that this is also, the Rangers might have stole one away here, and you know what? I think the Flyers have a case here. Maybe they go to David R. Cherry. Get hurt at work and motor vehicle accident, personal injury, criminal law, go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Talk to David R. Cherry or call him at 610-565-0300. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law, all life-changing moments, and you need the best who's going to protect you and have a game plan to do so. 610-565-0300 is how you get in touch with David Cherry. Let's see. Played tough, but missed too many opportunities, according to Charles Mitchell here. Yeah, I think that's the theme of today's conversation, Matty B.
It is, Al. And you look, as I mentioned, 0 for 4 on the power play. And then you also take into consideration, I counted 4 breakaways that they failed on, one right there at the end of the game. They were bad on breakaways. They decided they didn't want to pass the puck when it was 2-0. That is allowed. You can pass to try to get a better opportunity. So they really missed a lot of opportunities. Zerkin's a great goalie. Don't put that. I think we need to give him the credit he deserves. He's one of the best in the league. But
yeah, I was going to say tops in the league.
Yeah, the Flyers did have their chances with them, and they just missed their opportunities. And again, I go back to we just don't have the horses in the barn. We need a couple more goal scorers. We need a couple of guys who live for those moments, those breakaway moments. Now, towards the end of the game, there was a chance down low. The puck came right out front. Cam York was there, but he was not in position in front of the net. He was out off on the side. We need, and I'm not asking Cam York to go because that's not what he can't bump down there. He'll get ate up, but we need a guy that can go down low. We need those types of people who smell the net, and we just don't have those types of players here. We have fantastic young role players, and that's going to carry this team into the future. But we need to give them some talent. We need people that are built to put the puck in the net. And it was frustrating, as I said, because the game was there. The Flyers hung with the Rangers. They outskated them at times. They outshot them throughout the game. They just failed in those critical skill areas that young teams tend to do.
Dave Arnold checking in. I know there are no moral victories, but I love the fact they competed to the last second. Compliments to the Rangers. They are a good team. Rangers are a good team, but no compliments given because they're the Rangers and we don't like their faces. Another factor to take into it is no Travis Konechny today. So, there's a guy that would be in there making some people's lives a living hell. So, not saying if he was there, we definitely win this game, but maybe some of those missed opportunities aren't missed as much. Missing a key player. When like you said, we still don't have those superstars we're looking for, but a key player like Travis Konechny does make a large difference.
Yeah, and you wasted an effort today by Sean Couturier and the rest of the centers who really just dominated the faceoff. I don't know when the Flyers got good at taking faceoffs. They've really been really good this year. I think they
were like 10 in a row before the Rangers wanted a faceoff. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is another one of those stats that are completely night and day from last year. They're a very good faceoff team. They were dominant today. And they, again, you see the 4 power play opportunities, the domination on the faceoffs, the odd man rush ability, and all the opportunity they had odd man rushing. And you just look at it and you're like, you know what, this is that's all you can do is this. That's what frustrates me, and that's a good frustration to have. I just want to make that clear. It's better frustrated. That's a better frustration to have than losing 5-0, 7-1, 8-3, that kind of thing. So we're trending in the right direction.
Trending we are, and it's just, and the funny thing is you bring it up and you say, we don't have the horses in the barn, but tell me if they can't fix that power play percentage, just 10%, 15%. This team is even that much better.
Oh, absolutely.
We got the horses.
6 more goals. We probably have about 3 or 4 more wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then they also came into this game with the 6 straight games with 3+ goals. Unfortunately, we knew today that would be a tall task to ask. But they break that streak down for you. And guys, reminder that you want to get away. We all want to get away and go to amazing places. Maybe you want to go to Brazil.
Yeah.
Check out the Eagles. You can always do that. Maybe you want to go to London and check out the Fighting Phils, who had their first spring training action today. So many options. All these Phillies schedules are set. In May, they'll be dropping all the other Philly schedules. So many things you can do. Plenty of union trips to go internationally, nationally, around the corner. You name it, they got it. Go to phillysportstrips.com right now. Sign up for it and check it out and tell them EOP sent you. I always tell you guys, it's not tickets. It's not just a ticket. It's not just a bus or airfare or hotel. It is an experience, bar none, the best you'll ever have. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Travel like the pros. Let's go through some of these numbers real quick as we get to the end of the show here. Like I said, shots on goal, again, favor the Flyers. Unfortunately, the shots in goal did not favor the Flyers, but shots on goal did favor the Flyers, 40-24. Face-off percentage, we talked about this. Yeah. 63%. 63%, Matty B, to the 36% from the Rangers. Nobody could score on the power play. 0 for 4 for the Flyers, 0 for 5 for the Rangers. Penalty minutes pretty close in there, 15 minutes to 13 minutes. 2 more minutes for your Flyers. Hits definitely, favored the Rangers today, 27-19. They play that, bring that more physical. Like I said, that's what makes them a good team in my eyes. They have the goalie. They have really good balance. Young guys and big guys who can come in there. You can muscle guys out when they need to, but they also got finesse guys, and that's what you need. You have to have a good balance to have a good team. And power to Laviolette for putting this Rangers team back around as they are right now. Block shots go in favors 20-18 of the Flyers. Giveaways 9-8 in favor of the Flyers, and takeaways were 3-1 in favor of the Flyers. And the Rangers Flyers series is 2-0 on the season right now. 2 more games to play against the Rangers coming up. One on March 26th, and the other one towards even further at the end of the season on April 11th. Both in New York, so they will not see time on the ice again in Philly outside of the playoff.
Yeah, and that again, I said this on my show Monday. When I looked at the Stadium Series game against the Devils, and you look at this type of game here today, this is a preview of what the Flyers will be like in the playoffs. They're going to be that bug in your ear, that gnat that kind of just bothers you. You're constantly, they're annoying you. But I think at the end of the day, they're just not going to have enough to kind of get over the hump. But they're gonna test the team. They're gonna push people, but again, it's going to frustrate me to see that they have an opportunity and they can't finish it because they just don't have it. But again, it's a good thing that it's a good frustration to feel because we know we're turning that corner. But yeah, this is I said this, that I thought the Stadium Series was too big of a moment for them. They didn't react well. They felt the pressure, in my opinion. Today, they did not feel the pressure of a playoff atmosphere game because that's what that was. It was a playoff type atmosphere. And they rose to that occasion, and that's a learning experience for them as well.
Yeah, Angry Ant, what's going on, buddy? Good to hear from you. No, I think you did. I think you're right. And maybe the loss in that Stadium Series, and they were able to bounce back against the Blackhawks, and maybe they got in his ear. Maybe Torts got in the guy's ears and to let him know, no, this is not acceptable. This is not how it works.
Yep.
And when we come to the playoffs, it's going to be a much bigger atmosphere, and you guys have to get it together. So, like I said, no moral victories, as Dave said earlier, but I'll take some learning experience. If you can make a mistake and learn from it when they're a young up and coming team, in my eye, that's almost as good as a win.
And that's what it is. They're up and coming, and that's what we wanted. That's what we're all signed on for. Again, if I would have told you back in July that they're going to be 30, 28, and 7, entrenched in a playoff position in late February, you would have taken that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I know Cal Peterson will be in that against the a little bit more struggling Penguins. Penguins trying to make some moves and be better and maybe squeak their way into the playoffs. But right now, not a great team, and maybe they can take some of these frustrations and not be too tired on these back-to-backs as they can be especially on the weekends.
Yeah, it's a must win tomorrow. For 2 reasons or 3 reasons. One is the Penguins. 2, the Penguins are kind of on life support. You need to do what you got to do to put them down. And 3, they need to rebound and have a strong performance because Cal Peterson played well his last time he played, but you can't rely on that. So they gotta really go out there tomorrow, and I think it's a real must win for them. I hate to say that on a back to back, but I think that's what tomorrow is.
Yeah, I agree with you, and you don't want to. They had like that 5-game kind of losing streak going into the All-Star break, losing to the Devils, because they're up on the Devils. Devils are kind of getting a little hot again, and you got to be ready for these teams. And the Rangers are the best I think. Are they the best in the league, or at least the best in the Metro right now?
Well, they're the best in the Metro. They're like second or third in the East. They're a Stanley Cup projected finals team right now. No one would be upset if the Rangers. Well, I would be, but the Rangers definitely are playing like Stanley Cup contenders. Them, Florida, Tampa, those types of teams. So that's the echelon above what the Flyers are right now.
Yeah, and if whoever bounces the Flyers, the team that plays them should send the Flyers a fruit basket, because I'll tell you right now, if the team plays like they do now, that team's going to be beat up by the time they go to the next round. And that team, the other team might have the advantage in that situation. But
Absolutely.
Time will tell. We'll see if this team can keep it up. See if Torts can have them ready. We're 2 weeks away from the trade deadline.
March 8th, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Stay tuned to EOP. We'll keep you guys all up to snuff on what's going on. So, just guys, stay tuned. Matty B, thank you for joining me today, as always.
Yeah,
Guys, stay tuned. We'll have the article out for you shortly, and we'll have the post game, of course, for you tomorrow for the Penguins. I believe that's Austin and Mike Laro on the call there. So, guys, we will see you next time. And I guess we can easily say, go Flyers.
Go Flyers.